And welcome back to Coffee with the Wolves. My name is Damian Dennis, and this week we're going to be talking a little bit about everything, but specifically performance psychology here at JJC with Scott Halicky.
What's up, Damien? How are you?
I am good. How are you, Scott?
Great.
Cool. We're kind of filming this in the middle of finals week, so we're going to be talking a lot about that well as, the athletic performance stuff. But before we do that, I need to remind everyone we're here at Grounded Coffee Bar in New Lenox because we're sponsored by Grounded Coffee Bar. And Scott, you did this voiceover.
Yeah, I was the voice.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone. It's a great day to get grounded. With locations in New Lenox and Frankfort, it's always a good time to stop by and try our seasonal drinks, whether that's cherry as summer comes to an end or pumpkin as fall begins. We've also updated our hours to better serve you. We're open late on Fridays and Saturdays now until 9 p.m. Make sure you're following our socials. That's Instagram and Facebook for the latest updates on our specials and events so you don't miss out. Grounded Coffee Bar is a proud sponsor of Coffee with the Wolves and JJC Athletics.
All right. Well, I think we need to re-record that at some point.
For sure. Yeah,
it's a little outdated now, too.
It is.
But yeah, we're here to, catch up on your world because you are the performance psychology person, not a psychologist, but
not a psychologist.
Yeah, we're very clear
distinction there.
Yeah, but you do work in the mental space, basically.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Care to tell everyone, remind everyone, new parents, new student athletes who may not be as familiar with what your role is and what you do.
For sure. Yeah, I'm basically there to coach the mental side of performance. So that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, for sure. But confidence issues, anxiety issues, being student athletes, they deal with a lot of real life stuff, and especially junior college athletes, right? They are very busy. They have jobs. They have families that they have to help take care of and everything. So I'm basically just there to support the student athletes, right? Whatever that means for that particular athlete. But however I can help support them, whether it be just being a place where they can come vent or, like I said, teaching them some skills and techniques to increase confidence or help with anxiety or something like that.
Yeah. You mentioned, just especially at the JUCO level, what are some of the specific challenges student athletes at this level kind of face? Because, we talk about it all the time. Like, we went to bigger schools.
Yep.
I got my start in JUCO myself, but, I wasn't an athlete, but I've been around college athletics for 15 years now, which makes me feel so old. But, NCAA Division I student athletes have a very hard schedule, packed full of stuff. When I was doing my master's, I saw this. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know how anyone could do it, let alone a student athlete. I know the schedules aren't quite as strict here at JJC, but they're still jam-packed. But then these student athletes also, like you said, have jobs, have family obligations. I know we have plenty of students that live on or near campus that, are there because of athletics. What are some of those challenges that are unique to the JUCO level?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest, like you already mentioned, when you're a NCAA athlete, a lot, every minute of the day is kind of structured. You have lifts, and then you have study table, and then you have class, and then you have practice, and yada, yada, yada. But with junior college athletes, I think it's a lot less structured, but that's not to say they don't have as much to do, right? Yeah. Like you said, they have jobs. They have to help take care of their younger siblings. They don't live on campus, so they have to travel. So it's just a lot of, they are kind of learning how to be real adults, I think. Yeah. A lot of the times the D1 athletes can get a little bit sheltered from what it means to be a real human, right? When it comes to learning how to do your own laundry and cook for yourself and all the stuff when it's always provided. So, they're kind of dropped head first into the deep end and figuring life out, and I think that's why it's important to have somebody there to kind of be that sounding board when they need it.
Right. And, I think this year, so far, every time we've had a student athlete on the show, they always bring up Scott.
Really?
He helps us so much in the pregame aspect, the middle of the game stuff. I mean, I don't know if you've walked down to the court, let's say during a volleyball game or basketball, and like talk to the team, like during a timeout. I don't think I've seen you do that, but then again, I've been to many games this year.
Yeah, no,
but,
I would say more. I try to be in the background, right? I
Yep.
would never want to step on a head coach's toes who's actually there coaching them
Yeah.
in their sport every day. But as long as I can be there before, like you said, to remind them of, hey, if you get a little nervous, take a deep breath, right? Remind yourself what you need to tell yourself or something like that. But yeah, I've done it in the past, like a couple years ago, the volleyball team. Like I've spoke to them. Like right before the game and everything. But typically I'm just in the background.
Yeah.
When they see my face, they think of breathing typically. So
Yeah,
hopefully that helps.
That's a big thing that they've all said too,
Yep.
like breathing exercises with Scott.
Yep.
How often do you meet with student athletes? I know pretty much daily, but like maybe in a team setting and then individual. Like how many athletes are you seeing a day versus how many teams maybe in a week?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Typically for a team season, I'll meet with them 5 to 7 times for presentations. And again, talking about like how to build confidence, how to deal with anxiety, meditation, different skills that are going to help them. But then the one-on-ones are more if they need it, right? So not every athlete comes in. Some athletes come in for 1, 2, 3 sessions. Some athletes I see every other week for the entire year, right?
Yeah.
So again, it's that individual support of whatever that student athlete may need. But generally, it's kind of the same-ish things that we're going to cover for the team presentations, and then people can come in to kind of get more in depth on that, or just, like I said, talk about something else.
Yeah. How many how many students do you think you're seeing on a, let's say, daily basis?
I just did my numbers for the first half of the year. So from September 1st to December 1st, I think it was a little over 200 one-on-one sessions.
Yeah.
So whatever that breaks down to, I know I've had as much as like 4, 5, 6 one-on-ones in a day, and I've had days where I have just one, right?
Yeah.
So kind of depends, but each day looks different, and I think that's kind of why I like it.
Do you think your role specifically has any impact on both recruiting and, just kind of the quality of recruit JJC is getting? Because I think when I started here, and maybe I'm wrong, but weren't you like the first in your role hired at this level?
At the junior college level, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's still the case. But, yeah, I think, most of the time when I'm in the building and coaches have a recruit come in, they introduce me, and you see generally the parents' face kind of light up a little bit that they have somebody to talk to. But I'd like to think that it helps us with recruiting. But, yeah, it's just a tool that we have that people don't have elsewhere. And more it's becoming part of culture, and people understand that you need to be good in the head to succeed.
Yeah. What are some tips you give to athletes if they're, maybe something to remember other than breathing, or you can get into the specifics of breathing because I'm sure there's a specificity, I can't say the word, but, there's something specific with it. For maybe in-game, like if they take a moment during a timeout to kind of, center themselves, so to speak.
Yeah, I would say that's breathing, and I think most people have heard me talk enough about that. But yeah, like you said, it's just centering yourself. Just spending 10 seconds, 20 seconds breathing does so much for your body physiologically that's helpful for performance. But on the other hand, when you're sitting there telling yourself to focus on your breath, you can't think, I stink, I'm not good enough, they look fast. So it has so many different benefits to it in just a simple thing that we do every minute of the day, that if you're doing it correctly, it can help you, like I said, physiologically, what you're telling yourself, all that stuff. So, yeah, they hear me talk about it all the time, but that's because I know it works. And year after year, like you said, you hear people coming in saying, oh, the breathing works. So,
Now, usually we have you on at the beginning of the second semester, and we're usually talking about, what you tell student athletes, maybe parents too, maybe even coaches, some advice, tips for settling into the new semester. And I'm going to ask you that again, but because we are recording this before Christmas this time, I want to ask about finals week, because it's finals week, and I'm pretty sure some of the struggles I'm having right now with some of my student workers is because it's finals week, and they're not serious struggles, mostly just trying to find play-by-play people.
Right.
But hey, we're not available today because finals. Got to study.
Yep.
Yeah. What kind of tips do you give the student athletes when it comes to preparing for finals and even taking the test?
Yeah, I think sleep is the biggest one. I'll kind of talk to the camera on this one because you're not taking any finals. But if you don't know your stuff 8 hours before the exam, cramming isn't going to work. Sleep is so important when it comes to performance in anything. And a lot of the times you see these student athletes, or just regular students in general, staying up till 2, 3 a.m. the night before thinking that they can cram and learn everything, but then you're getting 3 hours of sleep and your brain hasn't recovered. So start early, do a little bit a day, and don't cram, and get a good night's sleep the night before.
I know I was terrible when I was an undergrad student. Because,
I was the worst too.
Yeah, in my case, I probably am a good example of a JUCO, student, I guess, at the time, because, I was working a lot and doing full-time classes. My last semester, I was in, university at this point, but my last semester, I started that September with a full-time job, a part-time job, 2 on-campus jobs, an internship, and a freelance gig.
Yep.
On top of full-time classes. So that's 6 things I was doing, at least for 1 month. But, I'll be honest, I failed my Spanish class. The only reason I passed it and was allowed to graduate is because I met with my instructor. I'm like, hey, I know I messed up here.
That helps too.
Yeah. My point, though, is, you got to take the time. When I eventually did my master's, significantly better. I mean, we all know I went to Northwestern, which I don't know how I got into, but also, I passed with a 3.9, the whole program. Complete opposite. I mean, it helps being 8 years removed from undergrad, too. But the point is to, go off what you're saying. Don't cram, sleep, study a little bit here and there. When I was doing my master's program, I'd do it in between, work, assignments and stuff.
It's not a 5-hour study session. Your brain gets tired after a while, and then you're not doing anything.
I have a story for you from when we're not recording, but I don't want to share it to student athletes. But, finals week, this is going to come out at the end of the week, basically. So most of our student athletes, if not maybe all of them, may already be done. But let's ask that question now about, the beginning of the semester, because after the holiday break, we're going to come back. They're going to be off from pretty much everything for about 2 weeks. I know, I think Danny said last week men's basketball will hit the practices again, immediately. You get Christmas Eve off, and we're back in.
Boys got to practice.
But, most of the student athletes are going to have the time off. Some of them are going to be returning to practice. Track starts their indoor season, I think, sometime in January, maybe beginning of February. Then we got baseball and softball. But also classes. How do you kind of prepare or help prepare students for the new semester?
So it's so important to recharge, right? I people have heard me give this analogy before, but if you have a cup and every day you're doing things, you're pouring a little bit of energy out of that cup, right? Eventually it's going to be drained, right? So do something over this break to fill your cup up, whatever that is for you. Something that has nothing to do with school, something that has nothing to do with sports. Just do something for you so that your cup is filled when we come into the next semester.
I almost feel like you're talking to me. Do something that's not sports? How? When?
I know. Do it.
I do nothing but sports all the time.
That's my favorite when I get a student athlete in there and I'm like, so what do you do for you? What's something that you do? And they're like, I go lift. I'm like, nope, doesn't count. Nope. What is something that you do for you that has nothing to do with anything else?
Yeah.
Go read a book.
Yeah, I should read a book. I mean, I guess in my case, I'm listening to a podcast. It's improv comedy.
That counts.
But I'm usually listening to it either while I'm driving to JJC or while I'm in the gym.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
your role has been very important at JJC. Everybody's always talking about we got Scott. He does so much for everybody. You've been involved with the baseball team over the last few years. You're doing PA stuff during basketball games and whatnot. So you're kind of involved more than just from the sports performance psychology aspect too.
Yeah, for sure. I think, especially at a junior college athletic department, you have to get people that care about the students and that are kind of willing to put different hats on, right?
Yep.
Like you do the same thing. We all kind of do. It's just if you care about their experience and what they get out of these 2 years, then you just kind of do what you need to do for them, right? And I think that's why a lot of our athletes do enjoy coming to JJC and spending the 2 years here, because they find that there are a lot of people that do genuinely care about them.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the in-season sports, specifically basketball, because both teams right now, at the time of recording, are in the midst of long losing skids right now. Have you met with either team to kind of maybe help them, again, center themselves as they try and get one back in the win column?
Yeah, for sure. And I think something that I share with all teams is it's about the process, right? And that sounds about as corny and as basic as you can get, but it's true. And as long as you're learning something in each one of these losses, then it is what it is. And you have to, like I've said it before, the skill of self-confidence. Confidence is a skill, and if you continue to work on that, then the losses mean a little bit less, I guess, right? Because you can continue to build this confidence and learn from what you did in these losses so that they don't happen again in the future and you're feeling confident about the future games. So I think it's not about making a big deal out of a losing streak, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just about, okay, here's where we're at. We have lost a couple games in a row. Here's where we're at. What can we do to fix it now?
Yeah.
Not start pointing fingers.
And it's different than, top-level college football where, 1 or 2 losses, looking at you, Notre Dame, can kick you out of the playoff. I think Sean has mentioned, we just have to hit 500.
Right. They just have to, but both teams just generally have to be playing well when we get to March, right? And that's why a lot of teams don't play well in March, is because they let what happened in December, January, February affect the mentality of the team, right? And I think that's why partly where I come in is we can't let whatever happened affect how we feel on the court.
Yeah. All right. Well, Scott, I don't want to keep you too long. Also, this is the busiest I think I've ever seen the Grounded Coffee Bar here in New Lenox.
Popular.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone can hear,
little chatter.
Yeah, which is great. Great ambiance.
Right.
It feels like those on location radio shows.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. By the way, what did you get today?
Just iced coffee with oat milk.
Yeah. I got, what was it, Christmas tree cold brew.
Yeah, something looks pretty good.
Every time I come here, I'm like, I usually try and stay away from the sugary drinks. But then I come here and I'm like, no, I'm getting the sugary drink.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
It's so good. I don't know what they use in their cold brew, but I want it. I want
it's my first time here, and I will be back.
I want a gallon of it.
Right.
Just inject it.
It's phenomenal.
All right. Well, Scott, maybe we'll have you on again.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometime in the spring. Now, what are you doing with the baseball team this year? Because I know you've been more hands off.
I'm still. It's just. Life has I have a 2.5-year-old son, so I kind of have to be a dad sometimes. But I'm still with them pretty much every day this winter, doing hitting and catching, and I'll get to the mental skills eventually when the season gets a little bit closer. But not much has changed here this winter. I'm still with the team mostly every day doing hitting and catching stuff. It's just some of those longer away games and trips and stuff that are gonna be a challenge for me this year.
Right. Well, good luck with that challenge.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Traveling can be rough, but like I said, we'll probably have you on one more time.
Absolutely.
Probably talk about baseball.
Perfect.
We'll see.
Baseball, softball, track.
Yeah. But we're gonna kick it to Wolf of the Week as always. I don't know who I'm choosing until I sit down to edit this, but That's how we end every episode. I do want to remind everybody who's watching, we're planning to not return until the new year. But you never know.
Maybe a surprise episode.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the AD, Greg, Braun, he was like, I can come on next week, but
we'll see.
We'll see. He's a busy man.
Yes,
so,
he is.
And, I mean, honestly, we all are. So, but anyway, we're going to kick it to Wolf of the Week, and we'll see everybody here after the holiday break. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.